Sam's farm sat on the edge of a quiet country road where trucks passed only a few times a day. The land was not large, and the soil was not the best. Some years the rain came late. Other years it came too hard and washed the seeds away. Sam still worked every season because farming was the only life he knew. He woke before sunrise, washed his face with cold water, and stepped outside to meet the day, even when his body felt heavy and his hopes felt thin. Money had been tight for a long time. Sam patched broken fences instead of replacing them. He repaired tools with wire and old nails. When the tractor made a strange sound, he prayed it would hold on for one more month. Sam did not talk much about his problems. He believed worry did not change anything, so he kept moving and did what he could. On a cool morning, Sam decided to visit the livestock market in the next town. He did not go there with big plans. He only wanted to look around. Sometimes a farmer could find cheap feed, used buckets, or a spare rope. Sam also liked watching the animals. Seeing strong horses and healthy cattle reminded him that hard work could still create something good. The market was busy. Men called out prices. Animals made loud sounds. Dust rose from the ground as boots moved back and forth. Sam walked slowly, keeping his hands in his pockets. He stopped to look at a row of goats, then moved on. He saw a few horses, tall and proud, tied to wooden posts. People gathered around them, checking teeth, tapping legs, and talking fast. Sam knew he could not afford a horse like that. Even if he could, the feed costs alone would hurt him. So he kept walking, planning to leave soon. At the far end of the market, away from the loud crowd, Sam noticed a small pen. It looked forgotten. The boards were rough and uneven, and the gate hung slightly open. Inside stood a tiny filly, much smaller than any horse Sam had seen at the market. Her coat was a faded brown, and her mane was messy. She looked thin but not sick. She stood with her head high, watching the world with steady eyes. Most people walked past her without even turning their heads. Some glanced and then laughed. A few muttered words about how useless she looked. Sam felt a small pull in his chest. He did not like seeing any animal ignored like that. An older trader stood near the pen. His name, Sam learned later, was Paul. Paul had lines on his face and tired eyes, as if he had argued with too many buyers that day. When he saw Sam looking, he waved a hand and sighed. "You can look if you want," Paul said, sounding bored. "But no one wants her." Sam stepped closer to the fence. The filly did not back away. Instead, she moved one step forward, curious. Sam noticed her eyes first. They were dark and clear, not fearful, not dull. They held a quiet strength that did not match her small body. Sam asked, "Is she healthy?" Paul gave a short laugh. "Healthy enough. She eats. She drinks. She just stays small. People want big horses. They want animals that look like money. That one looks like trouble." Sam watched the filly for a moment. She shifted her weight from one hoof to the other, calm and balanced. Her breathing looked normal. Her legs were thin, but her joints looked straight. Sam had seen weak animals before. This filly did not seem weak. She seemed different, like she was waiting. "How much?" Sam asked. Paul's eyes widened slightly, then he smiled like someone who finally saw a way out. $1, Paul said. "I mean it. $1. Take her, and I will be glad." Sam almost thought he heard wrong. $1 for a horse, even a tiny one, was strange. A goat would cost more. A bag of feed would cost more. Sam frowned and looked at Paul. Paul did not blink. He looked serious. Sam's mind filled with thoughts. $1 was small, but to Sam, every dollar mattered. A dollar could buy a little grain. It could buy a nail or a simple part. Also, if he brought an animal home, he would need feed. That was not free. Sam tried to walk away, but the filly stepped closer to the fence. She lowered her head and softly touched the wood near Sam's hand. It was not rough or wild. It was gentle, like she was asking to be noticed. Sam reached out slowly. His fingers touched her neck. Her coat was warm. She did not flinch. She leaned into his hand, and Sam felt a strange calm spread through him. Sam did not know why he felt it. He had no big dreams of horses or racing or anything like that. He only knew that something inside him said, "Take her." He pulled the $1 coin from his pocket and held it out. "All right," Sam said quietly. "I will take her." Paul looked relieved. He grabbed the coin fast. "You will not regret it," Paul said, though his tone sounded more like he was glad to be done than truly hopeful. Sam asked for a simple rope and a paper to show the purchase. Paul gave both. Sam opened the pen gate, and the filly walked out without fear. She followed Sam as if she already trusted him. People nearby noticed and laughed. "Hey farmer," one man called. "You just bought a pony for your kids?" Another said, "That thing will never pull a cart." A third man shook his head. "Waste of feed." Sam kept his eyes forward. He did not like arguments, and he did not care about jokes from strangers. He led the filly toward his old trailer. She walked carefully, still calm, stepping around rocks and puddles. Sam admired that. Many animals panicked in crowds. This filly stayed steady. When Sam reached home, the sun was already moving lower in the sky. He unloaded the filly and led her into the barn. The barn smelled of hay and old wood. It was not fancy, but it was safe. Sam cleaned a corner for her and spread fresh straw. He brought a bucket of water and a small amount of feed. The filly drank first, then ate slowly. Sam watched her closely. Her ribs still showed, but not in a way that scared him. She simply needed care. Sam felt a familiar feeling of responsibility settle on his shoulders, but this time it did not feel heavy. It felt meaningful. Sam's neighbor, a kind woman named Mia, walked by the open barn door and stopped. She often checked on Sam because she knew he lived alone. When she saw the small filly, her eyebrows rose. "Sam," Mia said, "where did you find her?" "The market," Sam replied. Mia stepped closer and smiled softly. "She is tiny, but she has a strong look in her eyes." Sam nodded. "That is what I saw too." Mia asked, "What will you do with her?" Sam paused. "I do not know yet. I just felt like I should bring her home." Mia looked at the filly, then back at Sam. "Sometimes that feeling is not a mistake," she said. After Mia left, Sam sat on a wooden crate near the stall. The filly stood quietly, then turned and looked at him as if she wanted to understand him. Sam thought about names. A name mattered. It could shape how someone treated an animal. He wanted a name that felt simple and good. "I will call you Hope," Sam said. The filly flicked her ears and stepped closer. She rested her nose near his shoulder for a second. Sam smiled, surprised by how gentle she was. That night, Sam ate a simple meal and then returned to the barn. He checked the latch twice to make sure it was secure. He did not want wild animals to get in. He also did not want Hope to wander out and hurt herself. When he finished, he stood in the doorway for a long time, listening to the quiet sounds of the farm. In the darkness, Hope shifted in her straw and breathed steadily. Sam felt tired, but it was a softer tired than usual. He did not know what would happen tomorrow. He did not know if buying this tiny filly was smart. He only knew he had made a choice that felt honest. Before going inside, Sam looked up at the night sky. Stars scattered across it like small lights. Sam whispered to himself that maybe, just maybe, this season could be different. He did not know it yet, but the $1 filly sleeping in his barn was the beginning of a new chapter. Not because of magic or luck in the air, but because Hope carried something rare inside her. Something that would bring attention, change, and a chance Sam had never thought possible. The next morning arrived quietly on Sam's farm. A soft light spread across the fields, and the air felt cool and fresh. Sam woke before his alarm, his mind already focused on the small filly in the barn. He dressed quickly, pulled on his boots, and stepped outside. The barn door creaked as he opened it. Hope lifted her head at once. Her ears moved forward, and she made a gentle sound, as if greeting him. Sam felt a small smile form on his face. He brought her fresh water and a measured amount of feed. He had learned long ago that animals needed time and balance, not rush or excess. Hope ate slowly, calmly. She did not fight the bucket or spill grain like nervous horses often did. Sam leaned against the stall door and watched her. In the morning light, he noticed her legs more clearly. They were slim, but straight. Her hooves looked even. When she turned her head, her movements were smooth and controlled. After finishing chores, Sam decided to take Hope outside. He clipped a rope to her halter and led her into the open field behind the barn. The grass was not tall, but it was clean and green. Hope lowered her head, sniffed, then began to graze. She moved with care, placing each step as if she was thinking about it. Sam walked beside her, keeping the rope loose. He did not pull or rush her. He wanted her to feel safe. As they moved, Sam noticed something unusual. Even when a bird flew up or a tractor sounded in the distance, Hope did not panic. She paused, looked, and then continued walking. That calm stayed with Sam all day. While he repaired a fence nearby, Hope stayed close, watching him work. Sometimes she wandered a few steps away, but she always returned. When Sam rested, she stood quietly, breathing slow and steady. Later that afternoon, Sam's neighbor Mia stopped by again. She leaned on the fence and watched Hope walk across the field. "She moves well," Mia said. "Very balanced." Sam nodded. "I noticed that too. She learns fast." Mia smiled. "Some animals surprise us when we give them time." That evening, Sam brushed Hope for the first time. Her coat was rough, but under the dirt and dust, he could see a natural shine beginning to appear. As he brushed, Hope stood still. She trusted him, and that trust felt important. Over the next few weeks, Sam settled into a routine with Hope. Every morning, he fed her carefully and let her walk the field. Every evening, he brushed her and checked her hooves. Slowly, her body began to change. She gained a little weight. Her coat grew smoother. Her eyes stayed bright. One afternoon, Sam decided to test something. He led Hope down a narrow path near the trees. The ground there was uneven, with small rocks and dips. Many young horses struggled in that area. Hope moved through it with surprising ease. She adjusted her steps naturally, never stumbling. Sam stopped and stared. He felt a small spark of curiosity grow stronger. A few days later, an old friend named Leo came by the farm. Leo had worked with horses most of his life and knew more about them than most people in the county. When Sam told him about Hope, Leo raised an eyebrow. "A filly for $1, Leo said. "That is unusual." Sam led Leo to the field. Hope walked toward them, calm and alert. Leo watched closely as she moved. "She is small," Leo said slowly. "But size is not everything." Hope trotted a short distance, chasing a fluttering leaf. Her steps were light, smooth, and quick. Leo's eyes followed every movement. "Did you notice how she lifts her legs?" Leo asked. "Very clean. Very controlled." Sam nodded. "I felt it too. I just did not know how to explain it." Leo walked closer to Hope and gently checked her legs and shoulders. "Her build is uncommon," he said. "She has good angles, good balance. If she grows right, she could be special." Those words stayed in Sam's mind long after Leo left. Special was not a word often used on his farm. Sam did not let the idea grow too big in his thoughts, but he could not ignore it either. As months passed, Hope continued to improve. Sam adjusted her feed as she grew stronger. He let her run freely in the field some days. When she ran, Sam noticed how she stretched forward, her movements smooth and steady. She did not waste energy. She seemed to enjoy running, not out of fear, but out of joy. One afternoon, a man in a clean jacket stopped his truck near Sam's fence. His name was Aaron. He said he worked with horses and had noticed Hope while driving past. "She caught my eye," Aaron said. "May I watch her move?" Sam hesitated, then nodded. He led Hope into the field and let her walk and trot. Aaron watched quietly, his hands in his pockets. "She has rare movement," Aaron said after a while. "Have you ever thought of training her?" Sam shook his head. "I do not have the money for that. I am just caring for her." Aaron smiled. "Sometimes that is enough to start." That night, Sam sat at his kitchen table thinking. He looked at old bills and worn tools, then thought about Hope sleeping peacefully in the barn. He felt something shift inside him. For the first time in years, he did not feel stuck. He felt curious. The next morning, Sam began simple training. Nothing harsh. Nothing fast. He taught Hope to respond to gentle signals. She learned quickly. Too quickly, it seemed. She remembered lessons after one try. She stayed focused, even when distractions appeared. As seasons changed, Hope grew taller and stronger. Her small body filled out, but her balance never left. People who passed by began to stop and watch. Some asked questions. Some offered advice. Sam listened but trusted his own careful approach. One day, Leo returned and watched Hope run the length of the field. "You know," Leo said, "horses like this do not come around often. You might have something rare." Sam looked at Hope, standing proudly in the sunlight. He remembered the laughter at the market, the $1 coin, and the quiet feeling that guided his hand that day. He did not yet know how far this path would go. He did not know about competitions, buyers, or money. But he knew one thing with certainty. Buying Hope had already changed his life. Not because of wealth, but because it gave him belief again. Belief that patience mattered. Belief that care could uncover hidden value. And Hope was just getting started. By the time spring returned, Hope no longer looked like the tiny filly Sam had brought home for $1. She was still not large, but her body had filled out with strong muscle. Her coat shone in the sunlight, and her movements had become even smoother. When she ran across the field, she seemed to float over the ground. Sam noticed changes in himself too. He woke with more energy. He planned his days with care. Training Hope had given him a new rhythm. Every morning, he worked with her gently. He taught her to walk, turn, stop, and move forward with calm signals. Hope learned quickly. Often, Sam only needed to show her once. One morning, Sam decided to guide Hope over a few wooden poles he placed on the ground. He wanted to see how she handled simple obstacles. Many young horses stepped clumsily at first. Hope slowed down, looked at the poles, then stepped over them with clean, careful movements. Sam stopped and laughed softly. "You are clever," he said. Hope flicked her ears as if she understood. Word about the filly began to spread. Neighbors stopped more often. Some leaned on fences just to watch her move. A few asked if Sam planned to sell her. Sam always shook his head. "I am not ready for that," he said. Mia visited one afternoon with her cousin Noah, who had worked at small horse events. Noah watched Hope quietly for a long time. "She has natural control," Noah said. "That is not something you can teach easily." Sam felt a mix of pride and worry. Praise felt good, but it also brought pressure. He knew little about the wider horse world. He was just a farmer doing his best. A week later, Aaron returned. This time, he brought papers and spoke more seriously. "There is a small local event next month," Aaron said. "Nothing big. Just a place where people show young horses. No heavy pressure. It could be good for her." Sam hesitated. Events meant travel, fees, and attention. All things he had avoided. "I do not know," Sam said. "She is still young." Aaron nodded. "That is why it is good to start small. No rush. No force." Sam thought about it for days. At night, He sat in the barn and watched Hope rest. She seemed curious about the world, not afraid of it. Sam decided that if he stayed careful, this could be good for her. He agreed. The weeks before the event were busy. Sam practiced loading Hope into the trailer. At first, she hesitated. The space was unfamiliar. Sam waited, calm and patient. He did not pull. He did not shout. After a few tries, Hope stepped in on her own. Each small success built trust. On the morning of the event, Sam woke before dawn. He fed Hope lightly and brushed her until her coat gleamed. Mia came by to wish him luck. "You already won," she said. "You believed in her." The event took place on a wide field outside town. There were tents, fences, and groups of people talking quietly. Sam felt nervous as he unloaded Hope. Other horses stood nearby, some much larger and stronger looking. Hope stood calm. She looked around, alert but relaxed. Sam led her into the practice area. He felt many eyes on them. Some people whispered. A few smiled kindly. Others looked unsure. When it was their turn, Sam guided Hope into the open ring. He took a deep breath and focused on his signals. Hope walked forward smoothly. She turned with ease. When asked to trot, she moved lightly, her steps even and clean. The judge watched closely. Sam forgot the crowd. He forgot his worries. He only felt the quiet connection between himself and Hope. When the round ended, Sam led her out, his heart beating fast. Later, the results were announced. Sam did not expect much. When he heard Hope's number called near the top, he froze. Mia clapped from the side. Aaron smiled broadly. Leo, who had come to watch, nodded with approval. Hope had not won first place, but she had drawn attention. People approached Sam with questions. Some asked about her training. Others asked where he got her. "From the market," Sam said simply. One man named Victor, dressed neatly and speaking carefully, stayed behind after most people left. "She has rare balance," Victor said. "I buy and develop horses. I would like to stay in touch." He handed Sam a card. Sam drove home that evening feeling tired and full of thought. He had stepped into a world he never planned to enter. It was exciting and frightening at the same time. Over the next months, more invitations came. Small events, careful training offers, and visits from people who wanted to watch Hope move. Sam chose wisely. He said no more than yes. He kept Hope's routine steady. Hope continued to grow. Her movements became stronger, yet still smooth. She enjoyed training. She enjoyed running free even more. Sam made sure she had both. One afternoon, Sam received a call from Victor. "There is a regional showcase coming up," Victor said. "The right people will be there. If Hope performs well, it could change everything." Sam sat quietly after the call ended. Change was a word he had avoided for years. Now it stood right in front of him. That night, Sam walked into the barn and rested his hand on Hope's neck. She stood calm, breathing steady. "I will protect you," Sam said softly. "No matter what comes." Hope shifted closer, her presence warm and strong. Sam did not yet know how much money would one day be connected to Hope's name. He did not know about contracts or headlines or offers that would make his hands shake. But he knew this path was no longer just about survival. It was about responsibility, trust, and the quiet power of seeing value where others did not. The tiny filly bought for $1 was no longer invisible. She was becoming something the world was starting to notice. Summer came with long days and warm nights. The fields around Sam's farm turned bright green, and the trees looked full and alive. Hope had grown again. She was still smaller than many horses, but her strength was clear now. Her muscles showed under her smooth coat, and her eyes carried a confident light. Sam kept training steady. He never pushed Hope too hard. He believed the best results came from care and patience. Each day, he worked on small improvements. Better turns. Cleaner stops. smoother starts. Hope seemed to enjoy learning. She listened closely and responded quickly, almost like she understood what Sam wanted before he finished asking. The regional showcase Victor mentioned was only a few weeks away. Sam felt pressure building in his chest each time he thought about it. This was not like the small local event. This would be bigger. More people. More noise. More eyes. And most important, more opportunity. Still, Sam stayed calm on the outside. He did not want Hope to feel his worry. Horses could sense emotions, and Sam did not want his nerves to change her mood. One evening, Leo visited again. He stood by the fence and watched Hope run in a wide circle. "She is ready," Leo said. Sam rubbed the back of his neck. "Ready for what, exactly?" Leo looked at him with a steady expression. "Ready to be seen. You cannot hide her forever." Sam looked toward Hope. She slowed down and walked back to him, breathing calmly, her ears forward. Sam nodded. "I just want to do what is right for her." Leo placed a hand on Sam's shoulder. Doing what is right does not always mean staying small. The week before the showcase, Sam focused on keeping Hope healthy and relaxed. He checked her hooves daily. He watched her eating habits. He made sure she drank enough water. Mia came by to help clean the trailer and pack supplies. "You look nervous," Mia said while folding a blanket. Sam gave a small laugh. "I feel nervous." Mia smiled. "That means it matters." The morning of the showcase, Sam woke before sunrise. The sky was dark blue and quiet. He fed Hope lightly, brushed her coat until it shined, and spoke to her in a calm voice. Hope stood still, trusting him fully. When they arrived at the showcase grounds, Sam felt overwhelmed. The area was large, filled with clean fences, wide rings, and rows of trailers. People walked around wearing neat clothes. Some carried clipboards. Others talked into phones. Sam felt out of place in his worn boots and simple shirt. But Hope did not seem bothered. She stepped out of the trailer with her head high. She looked around calmly, as if she belonged there. Victor met them near the entrance. He looked pleased when he saw Hope. "She looks even better," Victor said. "Stay calm. Let her do what she does." Sam nodded. They waited for their turn. Sam walked Hope slowly, letting her adjust to the sounds. Loudspeakers called out names. Horses moved in circles. Someone laughed nearby. A flag flapped in the wind. Hope stayed steady. When it was time, Sam led her into the ring. The space felt huge. The crowd around the fence was thick. Sam heard whispers and saw faces turning to look. He took a deep breath and began. Hope walked forward smoothly. Her steps were clean and even. Sam guided her through turns, pauses, and changes of pace. When she trotted, she moved with light power. Her legs lifted cleanly. Her balance looked natural, almost effortless. The judges watched closely. Some leaned forward. One whispered to another. Sam felt his nerves start to fade. He focused only on the connection between him and Hope. He kept his movements simple, his signals clear. Hope responded perfectly. When the round ended, the crowd clapped. Sam blinked in surprise. He was not used to applause. He led Hope out of the ring, his hands slightly shaking. Victor approached, smiling. "That was strong," he said. "Very strong." Sam did not know what to say. He only nodded. Later, the results were announced. Sam stood with Mia, who had come to support him. Leo had come too. Sam expected Hope to place somewhere in the middle. There were many impressive horses. Then the announcer called Hope's number for one of the top awards. Sam froze again, just like the first time. Mia grabbed his arm and laughed. Leo smiled in his quiet way. Hope received a ribbon and a small trophy. Photographers took pictures. People came closer to ask questions. Sam felt like he had stepped into a different life. After the ceremony, a man in a dark suit approached Victor and Sam. He introduced himself as Mr. Harris. His voice was calm and professional. "I represent a group that invests in high-potential horses," Mr. Harris said. "We are interested in hope." Sam's stomach tightened. He had heard about people like this, but he never thought they would speak to him. Mr. Harris continued, "We would like to make an offer." Sam looked at Victor. Victor stayed neutral, but his eyes showed interest. Sam cleared his throat. "I am listening." Mr. Harris named a number. It was more money than Sam had ever held in his life. More than his farm had made in several years. Sam felt his legs weaken for a moment. Mia's eyes widened. Leo's face stayed calm, but his attention sharpened. Sam did not answer immediately. His mind raced. Bills. Repairs. Land. Security. A future without fear. The number seemed impossible. Then Sam looked at Hope. She stood calmly beside him, her ears forward. She trusted him. Selling her felt like letting go of something deeper than money. "I need time," Sam said. Mr. Harris nodded. "Of course. But understand, interest in her will grow. Not everyone will wait." That night, Sam drove home slowly. The road seemed quieter than usual. Hope stood steady in the trailer, calm as always. When Sam arrived, he did not go inside right away. He went to the barn, opened the stall, and stood with Hope in the quiet darkness. He rested his forehead against her neck. "I never planned for this," Sam whispered. Hope breathed softly, warm and steady. Sam knew he had reached a turning point. The farm needed money. His life needed relief. But Hope was not a simple object. She was a living being that had brought him hope when he had almost none. Sam sat on a crate and thought late into the night. For the first time in years, he had choices. Real choices. And tomorrow, those choices would become even harder, because the world had finally seen what hope truly was. The night after the showcase felt long and quiet. Sam slept little. He kept thinking about the number Mr. Harris had said. It echoed in his mind like a distant sound that would not fade. When morning came, Sam rose early and walked to the barn. The air was cool. The farm was still. Hope stood when she saw him. She stepped closer, calm and trusting. Sam rested his hand on her neck and breathed slowly. He knew the decision ahead would shape both their lives. Over the next few days, calls came in. Victor called to share updates. Other agents asked to visit. Sam asked for time. He wanted advice from people he trusted. He spoke with Mia, who listened carefully and asked gentle questions. He spoke with Leo, who spoke less but said more with his pauses. "You must protect her future," Leo said. "And your own." Sam asked Victor to help him understand the offers. Victor explained options in simple terms. Some buyers wanted to purchase Hope fully. Others wanted to partner, sharing costs and future earnings. One group offered training with clear care rules and a promise of transparency. Sam thought about control. He thought about care. He thought about the farm that needed repairs and the years he had lived with worry. He also thought about Hope's calm eyes and steady breath. After careful thought, Sam chose a partnership offer led by Mr. Harris. The agreement focused on Hope's well-being first. Training would be gradual. Decisions would be shared. Sam would remain involved. The numbers were large, spread over time, with bonuses tied to progress. Victor reviewed every line. Leo nodded when it was explained. Mia smiled and squeezed Sam's hand. When the papers were signed, Sam felt both relief and fear. He had stepped into a new world. But he had not stepped alone. Hope moved to a training center known for patient methods. Sam visited often. He watched her learn with skilled handlers who respected her nature. She stayed calm. She stayed curious. She improved steadily. Months passed. Hope began to stand out even more. Her balance impressed judges. Her calm impressed crowds. She earned awards that brought attention from far places. Each success added value. Each step forward increased the numbers connected to her name. Sam kept his life simple. He repaired his barn. He replaced broken fences. He paid old bills. He saved carefully. He did not rush to buy fancy things. He invested in the land and in learning. He wanted to understand the world he had entered. 1 year later, Hope competed at a major event. The crowd was large. The judges were respected. The pressure was real. Sam stood at the rail with Victor and Mia. Leo watched from a distance. Hope performed with quiet strength. Her movements were clean and controlled. She did not rush. She did not falter. When the results were announced, her name was called at the top. Applause filled the space. Cameras flashed. Offers came quickly after. Mr. Harris spoke with calm confidence. The partnership terms were activated. Payments increased. Bonuses were released. The numbers added up faster than Sam expected. By the end of that season, Sam's share crossed a line he had never imagined. He was a millionaire. The word felt strange to him. He did not feel different inside. He still woke early. He still liked quiet mornings. But the fear that once sat in his chest was gone. In its place was steadiness. Sam returned to his farm and made careful changes. He improved water systems. He planted better crops. He hired local help at fair pay. He supported small projects in the town. He kept his home modest and warm. Hope continued to succeed. She stayed healthy. She stayed calm. Sam stayed involved in every decision. He visited often and spent quiet time with her away from crowds. Their bond remained strong. One afternoon, Sam stood in the field where Hope had once grazed as a tiny filly. The grass moved in the wind. The barn stood strong with new boards. Mia walked over with tea. "Do you ever think about that day at the market?" she asked. Sam smiled. "Every time I see her." Mia laughed softly. $1. Sam nodded. One choice. Later, Sam received a message from a young farmer who had heard his story. The farmer asked for advice. Sam replied simply, "Care reveals value. Be patient. Be honest. Do not rush." Sam never forgot where it started. He kept the old rope from the market in a drawer. He kept the first small ribbon on a shelf. Not as trophies, but as reminders. Hope was not magic. She was not luck alone. She was the result of seeing potential when others did not, and of choosing care over fear. On a quiet evening, Sam visited Hope one last time that season. He rested his hand on her neck, just like the first night. "You did not make me rich," he said softly. "You made me brave." Hope stood calm and steady. The farm slept under the stars. The road was quiet. And the man who once counted coins now counted blessings.